As a kid, you always dream of those moments. Like, I bet every kid was in their backyard or at a community center or at a gym counting down 10, 9, 8, 7, wanting to be Michael Jordan, wanting to be Kobe Bryant. So that moment for me was like, it took me back to a kid. Like, Kobe Bryant's my favorite player of all time. The Lakers are my favorite team, like, obviously. So to be in Staples Center, to have the last possession, it's a tie game in the championship setting. Like, all of that is going through my mind at that point, which is crazy to even think of. Like, I should be focused on the last play. Like, I'm thinking about what would Kobe do? I'm thinking about it's the Staples Center. Like, it's the perfect situation.
Welcome to another episode of Point Game. We got a lot to talk about. We got March Madness bracket day today, obviously, and things are heating up. And then we obviously had some NBA news that we didn't get a chance to cover, and I'd love your thoughts on. So without further ado, my co-host, IT, Isaiah Thomas. How you feeling, man?
And I'm good, bro. Happy to be back. Happy to be chopping it up about hoop. It's a dope time in the season for basketball. The NBA playoffs are going to start soon. You got the NCAA Tournament, which is the most exciting time of the year. So I'm ready to chop it up about some good hoop.
Yeah, man. No, this is an exciting year. Like you said, like the NBA regular season, people are starting to treat some of these matchups like the playoffs. And then also, I admittedly don't follow college that much until like the last couple of weeks. So I'm like reading cheat sheets. I'm watching highlights. I'm trying to figure out who might be going off. So just tell me, like, we're going to get into your historic career in college at Washington, but just tell us, like, what does this time in college basketball mean to you as a fan and as someone who played at a high level back then?
Man, it means everything. I remember as a kid going to school during this time, and some teachers might have the NCAA tournament on and the TV in the room. I always remember those days, like, because the energy is just different when March Madness is around. Like, there's Cinderella teams, there's guys that have amazing individual runs. And then it's always cool to see a team that's not expected to win. So, like, these moments, like you said, like, as I've gotten older and now I coach and stuff, I watch college hoops a little more because the game of basketball is similar to high school and AAU, and those coaches run plays and they execute. So I'll be trying to steal plays and stuff now. So that's why I really watch college basketball. But during this time, even if you're not a fan of basketball, I think you're turning on the NCAA tournament because it's that exciting. Yeah. You're seeing kids you never heard of. Then you're also seeing the top kids in the country. So it's an exciting moment, not only for the fan, but for, the player, the individual, the team. Like, it's good energy around March Madness. And I'm always hyped about this time of year.
Yeah. Well, even the lead up, because I was just watching the Big Ten Conference Championship or tournament this past weekend, and it made me remember, I think it was like close to 15 years ago. We haven't really talked about it that much, but man, you hit one of the most legendary shots in college basketball. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm talking about, it was 2011. Against
last year of the Pac-10.
Last year, the Pac-10, RIP to that. But man, against Arizona, step back three to win it. I think the famous call is cold-blooded. Everyone's seen the highlight who's watched hoops, watched you before. Can you walk us through that moment just to paint the picture of how intense and how big the moment it is in college?
Man, that moment was everything. Like, that's obviously, I feel like that changed my life for the better. Not just in college basketball rankings, but just like for my career. And, as a kid, you always dream of those moments. Like, I bet every kid was in their backyard or at a community center or at a gym counting down 10, 9, 8, 7, wanting to be Michael Jordan, wanting to be Kobe Bryant. So that moment for me was like, it took me back to a kid. Like, Kobe Bryant's my favorite player of all time. The Lakers are my favorite team, like, obviously. So to be in Staples Center, to have the last possession, it's a tie game in the championship setting. Like, all of that is going through my mind at that point, which is crazy to even think of. Like, I should be focused on the last play. Like, I'm thinking about what would Kobe do? I'm thinking about it's the Staples Center. Like, it's the perfect situation. So when the Arizona Wildcats made the 3 to tie the game up, I remember taking the ball out and looking at my coach like, man, I got it. Cause usually in those situations, he calls a timeout, draw a good play up to put us in position to be successful. But like for that chance, he really sat. If you watch the film, when I said, like, I looked at him like, man, I got it. He really like sat back on the scores table like, okay, we're going to see what you got.
Yeah.
And it was like the perfect moment. Like really it was. And I think earlier in that day, Kemba Walker made his step back 3, like his step back shot. That was a game winner. It was either earlier in that day or the day before. So I had watched Kemba Walker do that. And not saying
like,
I was trying, and not saying I was trying to get to a step back, but I'm thinking about all that. I'm thinking about Kemba Walker making it. I'm thinking about Kobe Bryant and his game winners.
Yeah.
Like, so it was like the craziest moment ever. And then like, obviously I made a good move. I wasn't even planning on doing a step back to my left. Like usually you do a step back to your opposite way because that's more comfortable. But if you watch the clip, when I did a right to left crossover, because I'm thinking the right to left crossover, I'm going to get this dude. Yeah. Every time I do a right to left, I usually get the separation I need. But he really sat down and stuck with it. And then when I took that dribble with my left, I lost the ball a little bit if you watch this clip. So the only thing I could do was step back. And luckily I got my legs under me. It was a familiar shot. Like I've done that before, but it wasn't a go-to. And then once it left my hands, I knew it was money. Like I knew it was going down. Like it was all net. And it was like, I always told myself when I hit game winners, I'll just run around the court to have everybody chase me. But at that situation, I didn't know what to do. I remember grabbing my shorts, looking down, finding a camera. Like it was so much stuff going through my head, but it was such an amazing moment, not only for myself individually, but for my teammates. Like we needed to win the Pac-10 championship to go to the NCAA tournament because we struggled towards the end of the season. So it was like I told you, it was a dream. It was like everything you dreamed of as a kid, as a basketball player growing up in that moment. Have my parents in the stands. I have my girlfriend at the time, which is my wife. Like she was in the stands. My mom.
That's cool.
My sisters. Like it was really crazy to even think of having a moment like that. So like that's what the NCAA tournament's about. Like that's what college basketball is about during this time in March. Game winners, comebacks, Cinderella teams beating the top teams. Like that's what basketball is about. So I'm excited about this time right now.
Yeah, man. No, it almost is. And again, I haven't played on that level, but watching guys like you, watching some of these players who sort of realize like, why not now? You know, like you might be graduating, might be going on to the NBA, might be your last year, or it's like just that why not mentality of like, just, I'm going to hit this shot. Like this is my moment. And, yeah, it was crazy. And to go back to just like you walking us through that move, like when you watch it, like you said, you're like, I knew it was going in. For some reason as a fan, that's how I got it too. At least like it almost looked too easy. Like I don't even know when you said you lost the ball a little bit. I didn't even see that. So I don't think you need to tell that. You don't got to tell that part.
That. I just got to explain like it wasn't all sweet during that last possession, but it worked out for me. It worked out for our team. It was like anytime I'm anywhere in the world and like an Arizona Wildcat fan come up to me or a UW fan come up to me, it's always love. It's like, man, I hate UW and I hated you at the point, but that shot was amazing. So like it's definitely something that, is going to be remembered for even when I'm long gone, especially in the college ranks and even up back home in Seattle and in that region. It's like something that was super cool.
Yeah, well, tell us about like the specific stuff because you played in the March Madness, the tournament every year that you're at Washington, right? And I think was the second year you made to the Sweet 16. You didn't make it all the way, but you played some high level basketball there. Just wondering, like, what was it like, taking it round by round and sort of after that, Pac-10 championship, like, what's the mentality going into that? Like, how does it change from going regular season college ball to the tournament?
I mean, it's one game. That's what's different. Yeah. Like it's one game that can eliminate you, can end your season. So the sense of urgency is a lot higher. Locking in is a lot more like you're a little more locked in than a regular season game. And for me, like my first year, we went to the second round. We lost to Purdue by 1 point, I think. Like that was a nail biter. Then my second year, We went to the Sweet 16, as you mentioned. We lost to West Virginia in Syracuse, so that was a crazy trip to play in that dome. And that West Virginia team ended up going to the Final Four, I think. Mm-hmm. And then my third year, we lost to North Carolina in North Carolina. So it was our backs was against the wall. It was an amazing game. Like I always feel like we had the lead most of the game. We should have won, and we tricked it off. But to be able to play in North Carolina and play North Carolina in the second round of the NCAA tournament, it was just all those moments and those experiences were things you would never get again. Like college was the best time of my life on and off the court, and to be able to experience those, not just as an individual, but as a team. And not that to go on and win 3 Pac-10 championships. Like I was able to win 3 Pac-10 championships. I got 3 rings in that. And to go on and be able to participate in the NCAA tournament 3 years in a row is like some, players don't even get to experience that once. So like to be able to be in the NCAA tournament with your brothers, it's the best feeling ever. Cause it's like really, we're all we got is one game. You got to be great for that one game each and every time you play. And that's harder than, a 7-game series in the NBA. So, these moments are amazing, man. Like I said, I keep smiling, but college basketball is at its best during this time.
Well, so before we move on, because I do want to get your take on some current college basketball, because I think this is one of the most interesting or one of the best classes we've seen in the last few years. But because we see these players who are successful and dominant at a college level, and sometimes it doesn't translate to the NBA. So I guess my question is, I'm curious, who are some of the best college basketball college specific players you played against in your time at Washington?
We played against that Kansas team. They had Sharon Collins, the Morris twins, Darrell Arthur. They were a really good team, but I played against NBA guys. Like I played against James Harden at Arizona State. I played against Derek Williams at Arizona, the second pick. Yeah. We was in the Maui Invitational one year. We played against Michigan State and Draymond Green. We played against, the list is so long of really good players I was able to play against. UCLA had Drew Holiday and Darren Collison and West Virginia had a couple of NBA guys we played against. It just, in college, especially when you play non-league and not play outside of your league, and then when you play in those preseason tournaments, those are always like super dope, especially like growing up as a kid. You always remember the Maui Invitational. You remember the preseason NIT. You remember all those games where you play against teams you're not going to ever play against in the season. And those are always good to go against, future NBA players, to go against college stars. It's an amazing competitive space that you're in, man. And you don't get that back. Like obviously the NBA is dope and you play against the best players in the world in the NBA night in and night out. But something about that college atmosphere, that college energy that's just so different, and it's hard to explain unless you able to experience that. Like the crowds in college are different. Like it's more hyped. Everything about it is just amazing. So I miss those days, man. As you can see, I miss those days. Yeah.
Well, the Maui Invitational you talk about too, like it's something you watch as a kid. You're like, the coaches are in Hawaiian shirts and you're like, man, sending a bunch of, almost teenagers to Hawaii to ball. Like that's the dream. Bro,
we got in so much trouble in Maui, like as a team, just being out, trying to be out late and being outside of the hotel and just trying to get the whole experience, not just, being bad, but like being out with other teams and seeing other players that like Kemba Walker was a good friend of mine growing up in high school. So he was in that was the start of his amazing senior season college run, or junior season college run that he had. Like that was the start of all of that. So like to experience that and see that in real time was amazing. And even in the Maui Invitational, we played against Kentucky. They had Brandon Knight. They had Terrence Jones. They had like 3 or 4 lottery picks that were freshmen. Like, and we ended up losing to them by, I think, 2 or 3 points. So to play against, to see UConn play, to play against Kentucky, the first game of the Maui Invitational, play against Michigan State, Virginia, like the list goes on. So like, it was really cracking, fam. Like it was some good hoop to be around, to be a part of, and to go against the best players in the country in a setting like that. Like growing up, seeing the Maui Invitational, like that was like a high school gym. Like that was like a high school gym, and the atmosphere was just amazing. Like you said, to have the Hawaiian shirts, to have all of those things, it was a dope moment, dope experience, and that's the reason like people love college basketball.
Yeah, man, I'm getting excited. Like I said, like I start tuning in. You know, it's hard sometimes to, I don't really have like a college team, but it is exciting. Like you learn about some of these players, some of these teams fast. Obviously, like, and we can get into it right now. Like the current, this season, this year's tournament coming up. Peterson, DeBansa, Boozer. Like, put us on some game. Like, who have you been watching? Who's on your radar going into this tournament? Do you have a team or that you think could go all the way? Like, what do you think about this upcoming tournament?
So to answer your question, teams, I think Michigan or Arizona is going to win it.
Okay.
I've seen them in person this year. Like Michigan's a really good team. I think they're the most complete team. Arizona got a great coaching staff with great players. To answer that, those two teams I think are the favorite for me. And then players, man, this freshman group is amazing, bro. Like,
yeah,
obviously you got Darren Peterson and AJ over there at BYU. That's been the talk of college basketball for the most part, but I got to give a shout out to the point guards, man. Darius Acuff Jr. over there in Arkansas. He can arguably be the number one pick if a team needs a point guard at the number one pick. He's that talented. He reminds me of a Stephon Marbury at Georgia Tech. Stephon Marbury in the league, like real strong, powerful, athletic guard. They can do a little bit of everything. And then you got, the guard over in Arizona who I was working out with this summer who's really good, Braden Burries. Like he's a really solid guard that's going to be a real good pro in the future. So those are my two point guards. And you got the kid from Houston that's really good that I've been able to play against a couple of summers in a row at the top elite camps that the high school and the college guys go to. Kingston, he's had a hell of a year over in Houston. And to piggyback on that Houston team, you can't count those boys out. They play hard. They defend. Houston's a really good team. So I'm going to go with the three freshman point guards that are guys that I love, and I'm going to always stick with the point guard group. But Darius Acuff Jr. is arguably the number one pick. I'm not going to lie. He's played himself into the argument of being the best college basketball player in the country.
Yeah, man. I see, whoever gets in that 1 through 5 spot in the NBA, people are saying you can't go wrong. And it's like, yeah, like, and we all seen too, like sometimes the number one pick isn't the best pick. And it's some of these players who just are like, they have a little bit more upside. You get a flash of them in this tournament. A couple of players actually I wanted to ask you about, cause obviously they got NBA ties with their dad, but the Boozer twins over at Duke, who also they're talking about maybe sneaking in, not sneaking in, but maybe even being a number 3 pick. What do you think of their game, from what you've seen?
I think the smaller Boozer kid is really good. I think he probably gonna stay another year though. I'm not saying I don't know him. Just seeing Duke play a few times, I think he would be great with, getting another year under his belt, especially like not with his brother there. But the bigger Boozer, oh my goodness, like he's gonna be a franchise changer. I think he's a complete basketball player. He can do multiple things. He can guard multiple positions. He got size. He reminds me a little bit of Paolo at Duke, with the size and the athleticism that he has. I think Paolo was a little more polished on the offensive end, but he is a complete player in terms of being able to fit into either a losing organization or a winning team that impacts winning. And him going to Duke and being coached at a high level, I think that helps as well. So, shout out to the Boozer, the Boozer twins, man. Like the Boozer brothers, those are guys that are exciting in the game of college basketball, and they got a bright future, bro. Yeah, man. I think people were saying, and you could see it from the highlights, he seems NBA ready. He's obviously as big as a lot of the forwards, playing in the league right now. And what's interesting to me is, and I watched Carlos Boozer through his whole career, and he had a unique game. Like anyone who's seen him, he had that little jump hook, he had those middies. Yeah, like mid-range jumper, all of that. The Boozer twins have that and more. Like you can see the modern game has rubbed off on them, and like they look like students of the game. So that plus the genetics, it's got to be crazy. Oh, it got to. Like they obviously probably got a little more talent than him, but Carlos Boozer had an amazing NBA career and college career. So that's going to be hard to top. Like they should, but that's going to be difficult to top because Pops was a really good basketball player, really good NBA player, and one of the best college players to play for sure.
Sure. All right, we're going to take a break here on Point Game, and when we come back, we're going to talk some NBA, and also we're going to do a little bit of trivia game about your Washington teammates and some of the players who played over there. So we'll be back on Point Game. All right, we're back here on Point Game. We've been talking college. We've been talking your career in college. Now, UW, people don't know, there's some players who came out of there. Obviously, you've talked about some of your teammates. Now, we wanted to see, kind of bring light to who's played over there, but also who you think could kind of build as your starting five, if you got to pick, of all-time UW players.
That's tough. Starting five. I'm going to always put me, I'm going to be the sixth man. So then we
sixth man?
Solid.
Wow.
Yeah, because I'm going to always pay homage to the guys that did it before me. And they paved the way. So my point guard got to be Nate Robinson. My point guard is Nate Robinson. My shooting guard, dang, this is tough. My shooting guard is, I'm going to go with Terrence Ross. I'm going to go with T. Ross, number 6 pick. My small forward is Brandon Roy.
Damn, that's already legendary.
I know. Oh, dang. Let me see. Nate Robinson, T. Ross, Brandon Roy, Deadlift Shrimp.
Wow.
Is my 4-man. Shout out to Deadlift Shrimp. Just got his jersey retired a couple weeks ago. And then my 5-man. Man. I'm going to go, since we don't got a lot of 5-mans, I'm going to go with Spencer Haas, top 10 in the NBA.
Yeah.
And then I'll be the 6th man. We should have did a whole team, fam. I'm rounding out the whole team.
That's not hard then.
Nah, man.
Okay.
So
Who
I'm
else
the
you got?
6th man. I got Trey Simmons, elite shooter, is the 7th man. I got Will Conroy at 8. I got Markelle Fultz is the number 1 pick out of UW.
You gotta have him
to round him out. And I'm going to go with DeJounte Murray as well.
Yeah.
That's 10. You could put the 5 on there. I'm going to just round it out for the 10. So then I don't get in trouble or I don't get no. And then, yeah, that's it. I'm going to go.
You can have a rotating starting 5 every other night. It's different players. Those are all. And
we're missing a few guys like Quincy Pondexter. We're missing Jaden McDaniels. We're missing Isaiah Stewart. We're missing a few real hitters. Matisse Thybulle, that was defensive player of the year in college. Yeah. So the list goes on, fam. But I go with that starting 5. I round it out with being the 6th man. I come out and be a spark plug off the bench, fam.
That's dope. Okay. Honestly, I didn't even know half those guys played there.
Exactly. We got
that's kind of wild.
Little group, bro.
That's not like obscure names. Yeah, those are guys who have legit tenure in the NBA.
For sure. Real deal roles in the NBA.
All right, I did want to talk some NBA because we did take an episode off and some big stuff happened in the NBA. The first one I wanted to get into is Bam's 83. Now, I feel like a lot of things have been already said about that 83 points, but of course I had to ask, I got access to a guy who scored at a high level in the NBA. So obviously the argument here is unethical basketball, the fouling towards the end to get the possession. Like, what did you think? And why can't people just be impressed by this feat?
Because people are haters, bro. Look, hating hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Is you no hating hours on the weekends or holidays. That's how we do it. The world are haters. So we're gonna give flowers to Bam. We're gonna give him his love. 83 beating out Kobe, the second highest point in NBA history, first and foremost. I would say the last 5-6 minutes were nasty. And I think anybody would say that. Like, that's no hate. How they did it was nasty. But I'm not faulting them for doing that. Like, you had
to get to 70 to even do that.
Yeah, like you had 70 at the end of the third or whatever he had. I'm going for it too 100% of the time, no matter how it happened. Tell you another story. Devin Booker had 70 on us back in the day. He had, I think he was 20 years old, whatever he was. It was a game in Boston. We were up 20 the whole game. Fourth quarter up 20. They did the extra possession thing. They did the fouling. Earl Watson was trying to get him to 70. they were celebrating all. Yeah, we was hot about it. We was mad. It extended the game. But at the end of the day, man, real game, recognize real game. I'm going to give love to Devin Booker for getting 70 at the age of 20 or 21.
It's nuts.
I'm going to give love to Bam for getting 83, no matter how he did it, even if it's in a Pro-Am game, a Summer League game. 83 is 83. And one thing I would say, the person that he beat would be at the crib if he was alive right now like this.
That's all it needs to be said.
Exactly.
You know?
So the people that are hating and are putting negative energy on this are people that don't belong in the sport, or people that aren't their peers, some media people that love Kobe. It's like a real hooper is going to congratulate that, because that's hard to do no matter what you did. But we're going to call a spade a spade. The last 5 minutes was nasty. But he got 83. They won. And it was dope to see that. In our lifetime, it was dope to see that again.
Exactly.
So shout out to Bam. Shout out to Coach Spo for allowing that to happen. Like, anybody in those shoes, you ain't going to stop at 80. You're not going to stop at 75 if you got a chance. So, like, over here in Point Game, we're going to give love. We're going to give respect. We're going to give support to all hoopers, and especially the ones that paved the way. Like 83 is like, somebody go get 85.
Exactly.
Somebody go break 100. Like, you might as well, how the game's played now, there's a chance for somebody to do that.
And people don't realize, you watch around the league, I see guys, like, the scoring's gone up a little bit. Like, I watched Luka at the Nuggets a few games after, and you could see in his eyes a little bit. He was nearing 50 by the end of the third. And some guys are like, oh, might I do, like, maybe I'll do this. Like, now there's like a little bit of a target to try to.
Why not?
You know?
Like, even CJ, even like a couple years ago when Luka had 70-point triple-double against the Hawks, like, nobody was tripping on that.
No.
Like, nobody was tripping on Lillard getting 70, or I think he had 70 and somebody else, like Embiid had 71 game or whatever. Like, nobody's tripping on it till you break it. That's what sucks. Like, you could get 80, you could get 79, you can get 82 now that Bam got 83. Nobody would trip. Once you break records, especially if it's Jordan's record, if it's Kobe's record, like, guys don't want that to happen. But that's how the game is, and that's how it's supposed to be.
That's the one downfall. And I'm not, me and you are Kobe fans, but we're not like this where it's Kobe and Kobe only, or like, because they showed the Lakers, the Lakers announcer like said during a timeout that the record has been broken, and people booed. I'm like, come on now.
That's that pride, bro. And I get it, but just think, I always think, what would Kobe, like, Kobe would be congratulating guys, because that's what he did. Like, that's who he was. I remember seeing a clip the other day of him speaking about, like, stop getting mad at, like, obviously it was way back, but stop getting mad at records that are being broke. They're supposed to. We're supposed to congratulate the guy that, takes the game further. And that's what Bam did. That's what all these young and up and coming superstars are going to do, is take the game further than where they seen it, where they got it, where they left it. And that's what the game is about.
It's weird. Like, it's armchair quarterbacks, and it's like, even you look at it, like, again, he shot 43 free throws. He had to hit those. He had to hit those 6 threes.
CJ, he didn't call the foul on himself.
Exactly.
Like, let's be mad at the refs. Let's be mad at the Wizards.
Yeah.
For allowing that.
That's tough that it was the Wizards.
Yeah, let's be mad at the Wizards for allowing that. Let's not be mad at Bam for getting that. Let's be mad at the Wizards and their coaching staff for allowing some stuff like that to happen.
All right. Well, we'll move on. I just wanted to get your take on that. And thank you. Like, we just got to respect the game. Also, regular season, guys, nothing's happening. We've been talking about, everyone complains about slow news cycles, and a dude went off for 83, no matter who it is. That's fun. That's fun. Fun to see.
If it was Wemby, they would be congratulating him.
Exactly.
That's not a shot at Wemby. It's just everything he does, like, everybody loves. But if somebody else does it, it's a problem. So
I think it's the people who don't watch basketball on a nightly basis, and they want their narratives to just remain untouched or not change. Because then they're like, oh, maybe I got to watch Bam in the Heat. Maybe I got to maybe I didn't know that Bam could score at a high level like that. Like, it's just, some people are being challenged to watch basketball and they get upset by it.
For sure. I agree with you on that.
We talked about this a lot on the pod of Seattle being one of the expansion teams. Adam Silver did announce that they are nearing the Board of Governors voting, and, leading that are Vegas and Seattle. So we said you're excited about Seattle. Just want to talk about, we've said on previous shows that you want to be involved in some way. So want to reiterate that. And then also, we haven't really talked about Vegas as that other team and what this sort of means for sports and for the NBA specifically. So just love your take as you see this Seattle thing becoming real, how you're feeling, and then also your take on Vegas.
Man, I'm excited. I'm excited for both spots. Like, even if Vegas happens, that would be dope for the NBA. Obviously, Seattle is something that's close to my heart. My whole playing career, that's what I am upset about. Now that I'm not playing, or now in a couple years when I retire, I'm not going to be able to play in Seattle one game. Like, that's all I wanted, was to be able to, even if it was for a road team, to be able to come back, sleep at the crib, play at the Key Arena, play at the Climate Pledge Arena, and play in front of my friends and family. But it's amazing. Like, to hear that news. Obviously, it's not official, but it's going in the right direction, bro. The state of Washington needs it. I think the NBA needs Seattle, just like Seattle needs the NBA. It would be great for the NBA. I'm already putting my name in the hat of wanting to be a part of that front office, wanting to be hopefully a part of some type of ownership, because the Sonics made my childhood for sure, and there's a big part of me growing up, and I want to bring that back, and I want to be a part of that. So I think it's good for the NBA to hear about those things and to be going in the right direction of hopefully bringing back the Sonics. And then bringing a team to Las Vegas. And, with that means two teams are going to have to move to the Eastern Conference. So whether it's
who are you thinking?
Memphis and New Orleans, or maybe even Minnesota, because they're on that line of, like, if you ever been on any of them teams, that travel sucks, being in Memphis and being on the Western Conference, or being in New Orleans and being in a Western Conference team. Even Minnesota, every team by them is close, and they're not in the Western Conference. So I think out of those three teams, two of those will move to the Eastern Conference to make room for, the Seattle Sonics.
That's
the Las Vegas, whatever they're going to be named. But I think that would be good for the NBA for sure. I'm excited about that, and I hope and I really pray it happens. Yeah,
well, I think you said it right there with, like, you experiencing the Sonics as a kid. Like, not having that representation. And I guess, there's, of course, the Portland Trailblazers, but we've talked about on this pod, you said it 5 minutes ago about all the players that came out of UW, like, having that professional team, and there has been the storm with the WNBA, and they've won some titles, but also to see the history of the Sonics before they were sold. And, like, all the years that we've gone without them and what we could have had. They had KD at one point. They had drafted Russell Westbrook. Like, even just speaking for your kids and all the up-and-coming hoopers, to now potentially have an NBA team that they can go to the games, they can see those people up close, know that it's real. Like you said that with even, like, meeting Jamal and just getting to see those, like, get up and close and watch those guys, potentially even meet them, shake their hands. Like, that could change the trajectory of basketball and the players that come out of, Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, because it changed my life. Like, going to them games and waiting after the games where the players' entrance, they drive through the tunnel and all that. Like, I was that kid begging my dad to just wait to get an autograph. It could be from a bench warmer. It didn't matter. Like, that's how much the NBA meant to me, and, like, how excited I was about it. So we haven't had the Sonics since 2008. So for 17 years, kids growing up, like, haven't experienced that. And for me individually, that changed everything for me, to be able to go and watch Gary Payton and Shawn Kemp, to be able to see those guys in the city, walking around at the mall, at games, and, like, being able to shake their hands made my dream that much more real, that much more realistic. So to be without the Sonics for 17 years, and that to be like a bump in the road for these kids growing up and not experiencing that, it's tough, man. Like, so for that to come back, like, that's going to be everything, man. That's going to make kids' dream that much more real. That's going to make opportunities that much more real for kids, not just even in playing the game, like, even all the jobs is going to open up for having a basketball organization in the city. It's just going to mean a lot for the city. It's going to spark something that we haven't had in a long time. And the city needs it. Like, the state of Washington needs it. Like, anytime I've been in the NBA and I've been around NBA personnel, they always say, man, we missed that Seattle trip. Man, the NBA needs that Seattle trip. So to hear that possibly coming back, man, that's going to change kids' lives. That's going to change the next generation lives of being able to dream and see it in your backyard. And that's, like you said, me just meeting Jamal and meeting those guys, that changed everything for me. So just imagine being able to see an NBA star in your backyard, to be able to play against an NBA star's kid, like in AAU, and being able to see that NBA star in the stands. Like, all of those things matter, bro. And that's going to be big for the city.
Now, okay, they got to make up their roster. And this is based on no rumors at all. But what I would love to see are some of those names that you've mentioned making up, going over the Sonics team, because honestly, some of them, their teams are current teams. They've tried it. Like, they might need to move on. So some players that I would love, and I'm looking for your reaction here. If we got Paulo over to the Sonics, if we got DeJounte, if you got Gary Payton Jr. on that squad, like, who are some of those players that you would love? And I'm not really even sure how. I got to relook at the expansion draft and how you can pull from other teams. How do you want that team sort of built? You get some hometown love, and then obviously fill out the rest.
First and foremost, Paulo. We need the number one expansion draft pick, or whatever you want to call it. We bring Paulo back. You get a guy like Jaden McDaniels. You only need 2 or 3. Yeah. And then, every free agency you get one Seattle guy to come back. So it would be dope. It would be dope to see. I think that would be important, to have somebody from the city on that team to get that support and just to get that love. So whether it be Paulo, Jaden McDaniels, DeJounte Murray, Zach LaVine, we could keep going.
Even KD, if KD went back and finished his career.
Yeah, go play 1 year there. Why not? End it the right way. You played your rookie year there. End it the right way. The city would love you. It would be dope. I've had talks with KD just about, wanting to be in part of ownership and wanting to be a part of that Sonics organization when they come back. So that's always going to be a good thing.
Now, on the Vegas side, obviously, I think that is, that's interesting because, it's a betting town, casinos and whatnot. And they're just, with the Raiders going in there and the Athletics going over there. It's interesting. I feel like they got to win over their fan bases a little bit, because I've been to some Raiders games, and it's a lot of transplants. So what do you think of that?
I think it's going to be tough, because the Raiders is tough because there's so many people coming in and out of the town. So there's no real fans, but it's easier in football because the games are on Sunday. You probably leave the city Sunday. You want to go to a game. You want to cheer on the Raiders. For basketball, it's going to be a little difficult because games is every other day.
Right.
So it's obviously people are in Vegas, people visit Vegas, but early on, it's going to be tough to have a real deal, a real Vegas fan. It's going to be people from out of town. So I think it's going to be interesting, but they've done a hell of a job. The hockey team won a Stanley Cup. I think at the first or second year. The Raiders, obviously, they got work to do, and then the Athletics got some work to do, but I think it might work out right.
It might work.
You're not going to have real fans there at first. But if you start out winning, I bet there'll be a lot of Las Vegas fans in them seats for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with the Raiders, they weren't winning, so they brought in Tom Brady. And so.
Yeah, you got to do all those things to attract real fans, especially in Las Vegas.
Well, and that was the old rumor that LeBron could potentially, everyone's saying Cleveland right now, or
you never know.
Golden State, but
you're going to have to have a hit like that. You're going to have to have somebody superstar type to get fans in those seats, consistently.
Okay. I wanted to move on this one. This one's a little, this is basketball expertise and little trivia knowledge, but I don't know if you saw this. There was a clip that came out that went viral of, a comedic rapper or comedic singer made this song about how there are too many Jalens in the NBA, which is 1000% true. And if anyone knows historians, Jalen Rose might have been the first Jalen.
I mean, he says it. He says he always, RIP his mom. He always says shout out to moms. He got to be the first Jalen. So if he's saying it, there got to be some truth behind it.
Well, and so I believe in it too, because I gave my first son, his middle name is Jalen, because I was like, I think that's a step towards maybe making the league someday. So
sure. See, my son's name is Jaden. So you get Jalen,
but Jaden and Jalen,
all of them are
that's a pro athlete
era. Yeah, all of them are in that era of names. There's too many of them names.
But I would say too, Isaiah, and I feel like Isaiah is up there in NBA.
It's up there. I do not it is up there.
you don't
like my name is cool.
Thought.
Like I love my name, but dang, like it's sometimes I be wishing I had another name.
Well, so we thought we could play a game here. How many Isaiahs, current and former in the NBA, could you name? You want to play this game?
Yeah, I could play that game. I don't know if I'm gonna get a lot.
All right, so we're gonna put 1 minute on the clock, and we're gonna see how many Isaiahs IT can name. Ready? Go.
All right, you got Isaiah Thomas. Let's go, both Isaiah Thomases. Isaiah Austin got drafted to the NBA.
Yep.
You got Isaiah Hartenstein. Isaiah Stewart. I swear there was Isaiah on the OKC Thunder.
Want me to give you that one? Is it Isaiah Joe?
Yeah, is his name Isaiah Joe?
Yeah, that sounds right. I don't know.
It sounds, I know. Why do I not? There's definitely more.
It's tough to put you on the spot, but there is.
For sure. Isaiah, that's tough. I'm still thinking though. That makes me so mad because there's gonna be a couple that I know that I not get. I'm trying to go through the name.
Any Isaiahs you played in college that potentially played in the league later on?
Yeah.
We got 6 in a minute. It's hard.
It's over. I had 6 in the first 15 seconds.
6 ain't bad.
There's a few more, but they're probably young though. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to do some more trivia games here on Point Game because we know we got to tap into that. Just like your never-ending knowledge.
We need to because I'm really a student of the game, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of know a lot, but that was tough.
That was tough.
That was tough. I'm never even thinking that.
All right. We'll take a break here on Point Game. When we come back, we're going to give out our no days off. And I want to talk about Austin Reaves' basketball IQ play that he had against the Nuggets.
That was a good one.
All right, welcome back to Point Game. We're closing things out. Of course, I've said it on the pod before. I'm a Lakers fan. Actually, I
am too.
They're looking actually better right now. And I think one game that was pretty big in this last week that I feel like people, and we've been tricked before that they might be for real, but that game against the Nuggets. And I think it's fun to note or important to note that the Lakers they're looking pretty healthy. You know, LeBron I feel like he's turned it on. Like we're starting to see the playoff LeBron, but Austin Reaves is healthy. He sat out a bunch of games. And so the moment I wanted to talk about specifically to you was, Austin Reaves. I think they were down by 3. Austin Reaves, they fouled him, which is, with 5 seconds left, they fouled Austin to go to the line to shoot 2, which is what you should do. Yeah. And he made that first one. And then and this is a thing that anyone who's watched basketball, who's played basketball, this rarely works. But he intentionally missed it, grabbed the rebound, hit the 2 to tie it, send it overtime, which then Luka hit the game winner to win it. So just wanted to talk to you about what you thought when you saw that play and if you've ever been in a scenario like that and was it successful?
Yeah, those are the hardest situations to be in when you got to miss a free throw.
Yeah.
You got to miss it perfect. And usually when you do it like Austin did it usually is a lane violation. They call it something right. Weird. Like you cross the line. They always call it out before the ball even gets to your hands.
Because they're looking for it.
Yeah. So like that was perfect. Like I don't know if he works on that. I don't know. Like that was crazy. It hit him. It came right back to him and he scored on that. I never seen the free throw, the guy shooting the free throw score off of that. Like get the rebound and score. Usually it might be a tip in by another teammate, a tip out or something, and you get a cool little shot. But that was crazy.
That was crazy.
If I'm Denver, I'm hot how I lost. I lost because of that, and then the game winner. That's like 2 losses in one. Like we had the game for the most part. So shout out to Austin Reaves, man. He's a real deal hooper. So I'm not surprised he's able to do some stuff like that. But that's tough to do. Tip your hat off.
Any Austin doubters out there, like, come on, what does the guy got to do?
Nah, he's a real deal.
That's crazy.
It's just probably because he's white.
Right. Well,
he's the real deal, though.
Even in college, like I remember I went out to his hometown actually, and I was meeting some people that watched him hoop coming up, and it was him versus Malik Monk his whole career. And they said Malik, and who's an absolute hooper too, has been overshadowing him. Obviously, he went to played college. He went to Kentucky, right?
Kentucky.
Yeah, went to Kentucky.
Austin Reaves go to Oklahoma.
He went to Wichita State and then Oklahoma.
And then Oklahoma.
But he had a transfer, and he kept having like you went late in the draft. He went undrafted.
He didn't get drafted. So let's talk about that. That's crazy.
That's nuts.
That somebody like who he is now, I feel like he's probably always been with the opportunity.
Yeah.
How you not draft him?
People got to get fired for that. And you know what? They got to find out the people who passed on him.
Can we put the names out that are passing on these guys? Because one day I'm going to be in that situation where I'm making these decisions and I'm not messing up on that.
No.
I've been the last pick, so I know how to find some talent. Not saying I'm great at it, but how is he not getting picked? And then he turns into this 3 or 4 years later. This isn't something like he just got skills all of a sudden. Like, that's another day. We can talk about
skinny white dude. It's a tough. People don't know in this. They counted him out a little bit. Like truthfully,
they did, and it was because he was white.
Yep. All right, let's go into it. We actually have a segment, obviously, that we do every week on the show here, where we spotlight some of these players who aren't getting the love. So, no days off. Who we watching these past few weeks, and who we like, and who deserves the spotlight?
No days off. I'm gonna give a shout out to all the guys that don't, under the radar, don't get the media attention that they deserve, but we're always going to do that. We're always going to show love and support to especially the guys under the radar. This week's no days off. He's been playing well all season, stepped into a bigger role than probably what he expected over there in Dallas. My guy, Naji Marshall, is, doing his thing, bro. Like, he's getting the opportunity to play alongside Cooper Flagg and really get real minutes. So I got to give a shout out to him. I played with him. I signed a 10-day with New Orleans Pelicans a few years ago, and he was a rookie on that team on a 2-way deal. And I remember having long talks with him while I was there for a couple of weeks, just about, not giving up and taking advantage of your opportunity. And he got paid this past summer. He stepped into his opportunity and really took advantage of it. I'm not saying it was because of me, but like those good talks with older guys really probably laid the foundation for him. So I'm super proud of him. Shout out to our no days off winner, Naji Marshall with the Dallas Mavericks.
It's dope. I feel like people gotta, right now, people are still clowning the Mavs, and obviously with trading Luka, that was crazy. People regret it. It's a bad decision, whatever. But they're quickly gonna be a good team again. So
yeah,
Naji's a big part of that.
Just no matter if they win 10 championships, they're gonna still be mad.
Yeah,
that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt to the end of time.
They might even win one before the Lakers, Luka and the Lakers,
and they'll still be mad.
Yeah. That's tough. All right, IT, another episode of Point Game in the can. What you got departing words for our fans out there?
Man, I always appreciate you, CJ, making this easy for me.
Of course.
We got to start doing more fan interaction stuff. I feel like that's going to always be dope. You bring more thoughts to what we want to talk about. But shout out to March Madness. Shout out to the NBA at this space right now, because it's getting real. Teams are trying to win, trying to get focused for the NBA playoffs. But like I said, it's always a big love and support to you and making this thing easy for me. And it's always good chopping it up with you, fam.
Likewise, man. I mean, it's crazy. As we were about to watch March Madness and all these game winners about to have buzzer beaters, I'm going to be like, is anyone going to have as cold-blooded as a shot as you, man? And it's cool that we get on here and I get to talk to you every week about it. So
come on, man. Guys,
watch basketball. Anyone watching this, we're going to be talking about it every week. We're highlighting everything, and it's a fun time. So everyone out there, stay safe and enjoy some hoop. We'll be back here on Point Game next week. Peace.